Yeah, Camille, what we're always interested in here at this Laughing Vikings Live is what was your very first paid gig?
Right. Okay. So I was actually super blessed. I fell into a wonderful opportunity right after I graduated from music theater performance. I got a professional paid gig in a professional theater show. So it was a really amazing opportunity and something that I don't know. You just can't really compare it to anything else. It was really awesome, but I was playing a puppy. I was playing a singing, dancing puppy, and it was a very family-oriented show. And the core message was all about love, actually, and how love and music and peace and gratitude can heal you. And it was such a beautiful message. And I honestly wish I could go back and do it all over again from where I'm at now, where I appreciate those things so much more and I'm so much more aware of it. Um, yeah, it was really amazing. So that was my very first paid gig right out of theater school. And then my first paid television gig, or on camera, I should say, was a commercial. And it was the first, I got an agent, I got my first agent, I got my first audition, and then I booked my first commercial. And I was like, okay, coming in hot. And it was so funny because the role that I booked was actually for a barista in a cafe, which, if you don't know, that's my day job. So I go to wardrobe and they put me in a black apron and they tie my hair back and I just look like I'm at work. And then I go to set and I, hand somebody a terminal. And I'm like, okay, that'll be 232. And I'm like, wow, this is what I do every day. I've
It's the
really been
easiest job
training for
ever.
this
Yeah.
one. Yeah, so yeah, two awesome. My first theater gig and my first commercial gig were both really awesome experiences.
Amazing.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
you have a very, I mean, from the get-go, you had a very high batting average. And I feel like you booked your first 2 out of 3 auditions or 3 out of 4. And now
Yeah, like everything.
you probably still are like sitting 50% or something like that. Like
Yeah,
you
I would
booked
say
very
the
high.
ratio is really high. I would attribute that to um like not taking, I think this is something that has always been really instilled in me, is to not take any opportunity or anything for granted. So even in school, for example, my some of my peers maybe would skip class. They're like, oh, I don't want to sit in that class again. But I've always just like every opportunity I have to learn or to apply myself or to perform or to do something, like I am all in. And that is just like has always been my mentality. Even since I was young, I was in community theater at a really young age, and I was so into it, no matter like how big the role or what the song was or whatever, like how big, how small. And I think it's the same with auditions. And like I just bring like so much energy and passion into auditions. And I think like that's why, honestly, like if you're looking for a good tip, like I feel like that's why I have a good booking ratio, because it's like if you prepare for like the small things as much as you would prepare for the really big things, it's gonna set you up really well.
Yeah, and I think you and I have a very similar mentality and philosophy, and I think it's part of the reason that we get along and vibe really well too in general in life. But I think we both, when it's something that we're going for, we both act and sort of believe and carry ourselves like we've booked it already. Like it's like an
Totally.
audition, an audition done is an audition booked, even though the reality is we know it doesn't shake down like that. But I'm acting and
Mm-hmm.
treating and carrying myself like if I'm going for something, I'm going for it because I intend and plan to get it. And from first audition to second audition, like to call back, I'll still run stuff. A lot of people throw it aside, but I still run stuff like I'm going to get the call back. And then when I get the call back, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I booked this, and I'm stacking and adding layers and honing it and making it better and better. But from the
Right.
beginning, thinking, yeah, I'm going for this. Otherwise, what are you doing? It's like nobody's impressed by someone who doesn't even want to play. Like
Mhm.
you're a
Well, and then
player, you're a
that goes,
gamer is the bottom line.
yeah, and that goes back to the good vibes and the good energy and the positive mindset, because I feel like I've met a lot of actors who they go into an audition and there's no way they're gonna book it because they don't even believe they're gonna book it. So they
Right.
say, ah, yeah, like, this isn't right for me, or ah, it's just for fun, or well, who cares, or this casting director hates me, or whatever.
Right.
But if go into it with a mindset. I have documents on my computer, and this is maybe this is over the top, but this works for me. I literally type out how I'm going to book XYZ, this audition, this, how I'm going to book this gig. And I write it out. I'm like, I show up, I'm like on time. I look like this. I play the part. I write it out, because if you don't believe that you're going to book it, you're definitely not going to book it. So a lot of it comes down to just believing in yourself enough to go for it too.
Yeah, I used to keep a journal as well. And what I would do is I would give myself a grade for how the audition went and write down notes that what I wanted to improve, what I wanted to try and do next time. If I saw this casting director again, how would I behave? How would I act? And like, you got to keep that in mind for when you're going in for something.
That's an awesome tactic. Awesome tactic. I would do that too.
Could I have worn a cooler shirt? You got to ask yourself that every once in a while.
Can I wear more than one shirt? And how many shirts can I wear?
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that, Camille, about that little self-sabotage. We don't see it as much anymore, but that is something that I really noticed from running audition sessions here at the studio, is people come in and they don't even realize it. It's very insidious, or it's because it's kind of masked as a lot of different things, but people will come in and be like, oh, the writing, or I'm not really right for this, or I just got it last minute, or it's basically all these self-sabotage excuses, even though you're not thinking I'm sabotaging myself. It's all these reasons why you might not get it, which then lets yourself off the hook from not going all out for it. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where you're just like, well, I didn't give my all, and then I didn't get it. Of course. Yeah. Why didn't I get it? Oh, it's shitty writing, my agent, I'm not right for it. I just got it last minute, blah, 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 blah. It's all bullshit.
Exactly.
I should get mad at people when they say anything like that. There's a couple actors that come here and
that gratitude, stay grateful for like every opportunity. Like it's an opportunity for you to show off what you've got. Like every audition, it's not just about like getting the audition is exciting. Like get excited about getting the audition. It's not just about booking the role, because you know how many people were even submitted and then didn't ever get the opportunity to audition. So just staying grateful for the opportunities that you get.
Yeah, it's like that old saying is like your current you is doing things that you 5 years ago or 10 years ago would have fucking dreamed, would have blown your mind, and then we sort of take it for granted or blow it off. So anytime people come to here to the studio and are any inkling like that, I almost shake it out of them. Like,